Good morning. Welcome to church. Would you stand with us as we prepare to worship? It's so good to be together with you all today, to lift our voices together and encourage one another, and to glorify God's mighty name. Let's sing his name right now, Creator God. Yahweh, come on. Yahweh. Holy is his name. I don't want to take it in vain. Yahweh, Yahweh. Holy is your name. I don't want to take it in vain. There will be no other God before you. There will be no other God before you. There is no one above you, no one beside you, nobody like you. There will be no other God before you. No one, no one, no one. No one, no one, no one. All right, let's sing that again. Yahweh, Yahweh, holy is your name. I don't want to take it in vain. Yahweh, Yahweh, holy is your name. I don't want to take it in vain. There will be no other God before you. There will be no other God before you. There is no one above you, no one beside you, nobody like you. There will be no other God before you. No one, no one, no one. Sing this out. Who else? Who else can lead us to freedom?
No one, no one, no one.
Who else can heal all our sins and diseases?
No one, no one, no one.
Who else can walk on the water?
No one, no one, no one.
Who else can answer by fire?
No one, no one, no one.
Who else can bring down the tallest of giants?
No one, no one, no one.
Who else can silence the roar of the lion?
No one, no one, no one.
Who else is worthy of worship?
No one, no one, no one.
Who else is worthy of worship? There will be no other God before you. There will be no other God before you. There is no one above you, no one beside you, nobody like you. There is no one above you, no one beside you, nobody like you. There is no one above you, no one beside you, nobody like you. There will be no other God before you. No one, no one, no one. 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 Give him praise this morning. Hallelujah. is the love I've found. How do I explain it? People will come and go, but you're different. You're different. Look what he's done with me. You won't believe it. I used to be dead inside. I'm different. I'm not who I was, all because of how you love me. Holy, worthy, even in my weakness, you are faithful, able. Even when I'm lost, you prove that nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. I'm different now. You saw me drowning and you pulled me out. I'm different now. My tomb is open and I'm running out. I'm different now. The walls of my heart have come crumbling down. I'm different now. I'm not who I was, all because of how you love me. Holy, worthy, even in my weakness, you are faithful, able. Even when I'm lost, you prove that nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Holy, worthy, even in my weakness, you are faithful, able. Even when I'm lost, you prove that nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. No, 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 nothing compares to you, Jesus. No, 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 nothing compares to you. And here's why. Let's sing this together right now. You took my sin. You took my sin and traded me life. Buried my shame and ended my night. No one who knows me could ever deny. They find me dancing where I used to hide. Chains are broken, my heart is on fire. This is a soul and it's fully alive. You took my sin and traded me life. Buried my shame and ended my night. No one who knows me could ever deny. They find me dancing where I used to hide. My chains are broken, my heart is on fire. This is a soul and it's fully alive. You took my sin and traded me life. Buried my shame and ended my night. No one who knows me could ever deny. They find me dancing where I used to hide. My chains are broken, my heart is on fire. This is the soul and it's fully alive. Holy, worthy, even in my weakness, you are faithful, able. Even when I'm lost, you prove that nothing compares to you. Nothing compares. Holy, worthy, even in my weakness, you are faithful, able. Even when I'm lost, you prove that nothing compares to you. Nothing compares. Holy, worthy, even in my weakness, you are faithful, able. Even when I'm lost, you prove that nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you.
Who am I that the highest king would welcome me? I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. his love for me. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. Free at last, he has ransomed me, his grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, he died for me. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. Yes, I am who you say I am. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. Oh, I am who you say I am. Yes, I am who you say I am. Sets free, oh, it's free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am.
God, we are so thankful that you call us your children. value that love that you bestow upon us. We're thankful for this moment as we are all gathered together in your name. We're thankful that you are here, Holy Spirit, moving amongst us. We believe that you will do a mighty work today. Transform our hearts today as we lean into you, as we draw near to you. Help us, Lord, as we continue to worship. We pray these things in the powerful name of Jesus. And everybody said, amen. You can be seated.
It's great to know that no matter what's going on out there, whatever this week looked like, we can always come gather here and worship together. It's great, and it's just a much needed thing. Hey, I want to just welcome you guys here. It's good to see everybody here on a Sunday morning. If you're newer here or new, this is your first time and you want to get connected, we got a little thing called a connection card right at the seat back in front of you. Go ahead and fill that out, and you can take it to the lobby, guest services here. Just a way to get connected, figure out what we got going on here at New Hope, and a way for us to get information to you, let you know how you can get connected as well. So take some time, fill that out if you're new or newer here, and just would love to get a chance to say hi and just take it to guest services out there in the hallway. Hey, if you call New Hope your home, if this is your home church, and you kind of want to see what else New Hope has here, go to the next level. We have a membership class coming up next weekend, right after or during the 10:30 service. Actually, be right now in the conference room. There's still some spots available to sign up, and it's a great chance for you to kind of look behind the curtain a little bit to find out kind of what makes New Hope, to get a chance to ask the pastors a conversation, or just have some questions that you may have that you don't want to ask in the hallway, but still have. And so there's a great opportunity to really just find out what that is and what we have going on here, and look at some of like the deeper things and ask some of the questions that this isn't really, hallway conversations aren't necessarily as like, you can't unpack something in the hallway. So if you want to do that, I just want to encourage you to go online, sign up. There's spots available. We'd love to see you. Next Sunday is when the membership class is. Then also we have happening right after this service a chance for a small group interest lunch. So if you want to make the big church smaller, if you want to have a smaller church experience with a group of people, find out what that looks like here at New Hope, we'd love to invite you there. We serve lunch. It'll be just right after this in the coffee house where the youth meet. And it's a chance for us to kind of explain to you, here's what our small group look like at New Hope. And so it's really a great opportunity small groups are a great opportunity to grow, to do stuff with one particular group of folks for a while, and where you can grow closer to God, closer to each other. So I want to encourage you in that. You don't have to sign up. You can just come at this point. Just come on over. It's right back there, the north-south side of the church, and it's going to be a good time just to find out what we have going on. You're not forced to sign up for a small group if you show up, but you can just learn about what they look like and see if this is a good fit for you. So I'd love to invite you to that. And so, last week we finished a sermon series looking at the 2nd and 3rd John, 1st and 3rd John. So today we're starting a brand new series on work. So we're going to look at the theology of workology. So let's continue on our worship service. Here we go.
Morning, church. Good morning, church. There we are. How are you doing? Good. I'm glad you're here. My name is Brandon. I'm the pastor here. I want to say welcome. Thanks for being here with us and for joining us this morning. If you're newer, or we haven't met yet, I say this every service, and I mean it, and I love meeting new people. I hang out in the lobby right over here, so come by and say hi. So maybe you've been coming for a while, but we've just never officially met. Come by and say hi. Or maybe you are newish and you're like, I don't know, it might be a little intimidating. He looks so cool. He's so funny. He's so nice. I promise, come by and say hi. I would love to meet you. So one of the things too that is cool. Pastor Andy talked about this membership class next week, And over the last couple classes, we've had a number of people become members. And so I want to talk a little bit about what membership is and why we do it. So membership is the moment, like when you think of like finding a new church. If you've gone through that experience where, we often refer to as like church shopping, where you're looking for the next church and maybe you're new to a town or, or you're just like, it's time to start thinking about church, whatever. And you start looking at church and you start attending and you find one, you kind of start liking it and you're like, it seems right. And, and this is maybe some of your experience here even. Some of you are maybe in this right now, this like church shopping mode. And you often use the language like, well, you guys or that church, or they like to do it this way, or New Hope does it. And you use that language even though you attend here. And you're like, oh, well, the way New Hope does it, or the way you guys do it, or the way they think about. And you use the like them, they, you guys. And then something happens. When you come long enough and you come and you say, this is now our church, the you, the them, the they becomes our church, my church. Like, this is how my church does it. This is how our church does this particular thing, or this is how we think about this stuff. And it becomes like, this is our church, where it's like, it becomes your home. And people often talk about, XYZ church is our home church. Membership is one of the ways in which you make that shift, where you say, oh, no, we're planting a flag in this church. This is our home church. This is where we go. This is our people, this is our family comes to this church. So membership is how you say, is one of those things where you switch from like the they to, no, this is our church. This is where this is our home. So if that's at all interesting, or you're thinking about, you're like, no, we need to make a commitment and say, this is our home. You make a commitment to New Hope, and we make a commitment to you and say, we as a church have all of these programs and ministries and opportunities to help serve you and your family. And so we make a commitment to say, we want to help you grow in your faith. As a group, as a church, as a body of believers, to say that. So membership is that. Membership is saying, I'm in, and this is my church, and us saying, awesome, great, we're committed to helping you grow in your faith as well. So next week is our next membership class. You can sign up. I think there's still some spots available. We keep them small on purpose so you can really interact, get to know people, ask questions for the pastors as well. So we're in this new series. We're starting today. We're talking about work. And work is one of those things. Work is one of those things that you will deal with, and it is a part of your life whether you like it or not. And that work is part of the human experience, that you cannot live and not have to do some kind of work. Even if you're not paid for it, like, you still got to do something. Even as a kid, you're like, I had to do chores. I had to do yard work. I didn't get paid for it. It was slave labor. I should have reported mom and dad, but I had to do work, right? And like, work is just a part of our life. And then you get to a point where you actually get a job and you actually perform like a function that people pay you for. And if you like it, and if you want to do it long term, we call it a career. You make a career of doing work. One of the things that all of you, like, regardless of where you are now in your life, you remember this. You remember your first job. You remember that. You probably remember it like it was yesterday. It might take a minute, but you can go back. Oh yeah, I had that job. My first job, I'm kind of proud of my first job. Not when I had it. When I had it, it was like, all right, this is just a job. But now it's kind of fun. And even yesterday, just yesterday, last night. So I tuck my daughter in every night, and we, talk about our day and pray together. And it's like, she wants to play a game, and she wants me to, rename all her lovies every night, and it's a blast. I love it. I actually really do like our time. But even just last night, unprompted, I didn't ask her. She doesn't know I'm talking about work. She never knows what I'm talking about on the stage. I don't even know if she's ever sat through like a full sermon without, falling asleep. But, and she goes, Dad, what did you do? What was your first job ever? She asked me that last night, right? And I'm like, this is the Lord prepping me for today. This is awesome. And so I told her, and here's my first job ever. I worked at Blockbuster. the Blockbuster, right? Back when I worked there, it was like there's a Blockbuster everywhere, and it was the place to be. Now it's like a cool, like, oh, you worked at Blockbuster? You know, Ben has the last one. And she knew what that was. Most kids wouldn't know what, like, Blockbuster, what is that? She's like, oh, the place where we go rent movies, because we've gone there before. And when we go in, I don't think it's changed. I don't think they've changed anything. Like, I go in and I'm like, I wore those shirts. Like, that's the shirt I wore, you know, a few years ago. And I remember, like, even they're checking us out doing the thing, and I'm going, this is the same computer system I ran. I could check us out right now, you know, decades later. and that was my first job. You probably remember your first job. You remember how much you got paid, right? My first job, I remember I got $4.25 an hour. I was rich, right? I remember that. I remember going, and then on my lunch break, Taco Bell was across the street. I could get 4 tacos for that. I was rolling in it. And, you know, I got a quarter raise. It was like, this is the greatest, right? Got movies. I love movies. I worked there. Just to date me a little bit. I worked there when we had VHSs. I was the guy. The like, hey, be kind, rewind. That was for me. You were doing that for me because you would come in and it'd be like, you would see the tape, you'd open it up, you had to do the check and be like, all right, and like, oh, didn't rewind, huh? We got to do this thing. We're like, guess you can't get your new movie yet. And then I remember when DVDs came out. You remember when DVDs came out? You guys, you have to be older now. And you're like, DVDs, like, what is that? Like, we're past DVDs now. But I remember DVDs when they were brand new, and we were selling DVD players for like $400, right? A DVD was like $60 or something for one movie. And I remember guys coming in, getting the thing. I had a buddy whose friend, whose dad came and he got a DVD player, and then he came and he bought like 8 DVDs at one time. And it was like the first time I've seen a DVD purchase. Like, bro, I didn't know your dad was rich. He's buying DVDs, you know? And I remember people would, when they're trying to figure it out, they'd bring it back. And I remember one guy, and this became a pattern. People would bring their DVDs back and they would go, now, I think I rewound it all the way, but I'm not sure. They're like rewinding on the remote, and we just play it off, like open it up. Oh, yeah, good job. You did it. Thank you so much. Like, that was my first job, right? And you probably remember your first job, like where you were doing something for a company, a business, a person, and you got paid. They gave you money for this job. And that was the beginning of the end. And like, this was the first day of the rest of your life working and doing something. And we're talking now about work. So one of the things that often comes up in conversation when you meet someone is this question: what do you do for work? You meet someone new and they'll ask you, or you'll ask them, hey, so tell me, what do you do for work? And it's like, and they'll share, and then they'll ask, so what do you do? Oh, you'll share, and you'll do this back and forth. You'll share about work before you talk about family, before you talk about maybe anything else. And here's what's happening, whether you like it or not, whether you admit it or not. When people are talking, when this interchange happens, people are they're trying to find out, what are you worth? What do you do? How valuable are you? And if you have a good job, it's like, whoa, right? If you make good money at what you're doing, it's like, oh man, I didn't realize. Wow, you're important. And if you have another job where it's just, maybe you're not proud of it, it's just like, oh. And people are trying to size each other up. And listen, we try to define each other by what we do, whether we're paid for it or not, whether we volunteer or maybe you're retired, but like we can't help this. We do this as people. We find so much of our self like value and importance and worth in what we do that it's usually the first question that comes up. A lot of my conversations, I'll ask, so what do you do for work? Oh, what do you do for a living? I do this, whatever. I'm an accountant, construction, I'm a GM for a thing, whatever. And then they'll ask me, and we'll talk, and then I'll let them share, and I'll ask questions. Oh, that's cool. How'd you get into that? And how long did it take? And oh, that's interesting. So what are some of the struggles? And we'll go, I'll just have this conversation. And then they'll go, so what do you do for work? And I'll go, oh, my job's a little different. I'm a pastor at a church. And they'll respond one of two ways. Oh, That's so cool. What church? Oh, I go to such and such church. Or, oh, my uncle's a pastor. Or my grandpa was a pastor. Or, oh, that's so cool. Or they'll go, oh. And that's the extent of our conversation. I'll listen to them for minutes, and then they'll just go, oh. So what do you want to order? It's like, oh, man, that's so great. Because they see my worth now, my value is different. Now I'm potentially an adversary, someone who might be trying to like tell them that they're living wrong or something. Whatever they think about Christianity, it comes to the forefront because they met one. They're talking to one of those right now, to one of the generals, like one of the guys on the stage telling all of you how to be terrible Christians, right? And I feel that sometimes. We can't help but look at our work as an essential part of our lives. And as a culture, we do one of two things. We either idolize it, get a job, get a high-paying job. We teach our kids this, get a career. I think I want to do this. Hey, that's great. Do what makes you happy. That's not what we tell our kids. Do what makes you happy if it makes you money, right? If you can actually provide a living. And we can idolize work and say that all our identity and our effort and our worth is in our work, or we avoid it. Or we can get to a point where we say the goal is to stop working. The goal is there's a new movement that lately, it's been around for a number of years now. It's called FIRE. Have you heard of this FIRE movement? It's spelled like the F-I-R-E. I don't know if you know how it spells FIRE. Financially independent, retire early. It's this movement to say like, make your money quick, retire in your 30s or 40s. And that's the goal, to stop working, to be done with work. And then you retire and you go, now what? Now I'm bored. Like, what do I got to do? There's something in us that says, I got to do something. I got to do something. Paid, unpaid, working, retired, like, all right, I can't do, I gotta go, I gotta get out and do something. What is that? And how should we view that thing, that desire? Here's what we're gonna see as we start this series in work, and this kind of lays the foundation. Here's the point, ready? You were designed to work. God made you to work. We're gonna jump back in Genesis, back to the beginning this morning. You were made to work, but not to be mastered by it. You were designed to work. You're supposed to work. If you're not working, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And by working, I don't mean like employed for a job. Some of you are retired, but you still have stuff to do. Like God still wants you to do something, not just waste your life. So you are made to work. You're made to do something, but not to be mastered by that thing. Here's what we're gonna see. Genesis chapter 2, before sin, before the fall, before everything goes wrong, we're gonna see that God designs man to work, to do something. Work was designed by God, but not defined by the fall. So we often think of work as like the thing, like the enemy, like, it's a necessary evil. I do this so that I can get paid, so that I can pay for my life. Like, it's just a means to an end. I do this job to make money, and that's it. And as soon as I don't need it anymore, I'm done, right? I'm playing the lotto. Every time, if I win, first thing I'm doing, I'm quitting, and I'm telling them everything I think. And it's just like, all right, you're just trying to be done with work. But you were designed to work. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that like, I'll just quit my job and be done. It doesn't work that way. Here's what we see in Genesis chapter 2. This is before the fall. This is before God makes Eve. It's just Adam. It's just Adam and all the animals in this garden, right? God makes the garden. He makes Adam, and then he says this. Before all of the bad stuff happens, God says this: the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to do what? To work it and take care of it. The first thing God does, there's so many parallels between like being a father and God the Father as a parent. As a parent, here's what he says: all right, kid, get to work. Do something, right? We do that with our kids. Like, all right, our kids get a certain age. Usually once they get their license, they can drive. Hey, this is so cool. I'm so glad you can drive. Okay, get a job. It's time. Get out of the house. You've got to do something, right? gotta start making money. Like at some point, like all of us, we do this with our kids. You're supposed to. Hey, you gotta go work. You gotta go do something. You gotta get out of the house. You can't live here forever, right? God does that with Adam. Hey, that's awesome. Look at this place I made. I'm so happy for you. Get to work. It's time to take care of it. You got a job to do. We see this, that the Hebrew word here for work is abed, and it means to serve, to cultivate, and it's in Hebrew, in ancient Hebrew mindset, it was the stuff you did was a means of worship. So like what you did, your work was how you worshiped. It's how you served the Lord. You didn't like, of course they didn't have dollars and cents like we do. And so you would work to trade goods. You didn't have currency, so you had to work, but also that's how you lived. And that was how you served, and it's how you provided for the community. It's how you worshiped the Lord was through your job. Whatever your work was. We see this, that God makes Adam, and the garden wasn't a leisure resort. It was a sacred workspace. That God makes Adam, and Adam is not on vacation. God gives him a vocation. It wasn't, hey, I made this place, don't worry about it, just enjoy paradise. It was, I made this, now it's your job to take care of it. Time to get to work. From the beginning, before the fall, before sin. Now, here's an interesting parallel then, right? If we think about this, in Genesis, in the garden, in the beginning, there's a garden, right? Garden of Eden. You jump to Revelation, you read the end of Revelation, and you see this great city that comes down, this New Jerusalem. What does it have? It's the same thing. It has a tree of life, tree of knowledge of evil, of good and evil, and the tree of life. We're in both of these things. That there's a garden, that there's a river running through both of them. What seems to be the case is that God is saying at the end, hey, I'm actually redeeming everything, and I'm getting us back to where it started, with a garden, literally a garden. And so if we can then extrapolate and think through, like, if God had us work before the fall, it's not a result of sin, and that he put Adam to work in the garden long before sin. Then when it's all over and we're back in a garden, a city now, but also with a garden, is it possible to think that we actually might have jobs? That we might actually have work to do? That for all of eternity, it's like, hey, I've got something to do. God gave me a job, right? I might be taking care of the garden. I might be picking fruit. I might be helping make meals with people. I might be, some of you are like, hey, you love hair and hairstyle. Listen, I bet the angel Michael has got some wonderful locks of hair that you get to cut, right? Do you imagine? Like you're like, I get to try out new hairstyles on these angels. They're like lining up, like, yep, I'm ready, give me the faux hawk, please. And I don't know what we're gonna do, but listen, it would make sense then that God says, hey, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to, Jesus even calls it paradise. Today you'll be with me in paradise. It makes sense. It would make total sense that we get there, we have this meal like we're told, this meal with the lamb, and it's like, awesome, we're here with everyone. And then God, just like he told Adam, says, all right, guys, all right, hey, dinner's over. It's, you know what? Time to get to work. I got a shift. You got a job to do. And instead of us going, are you kidding me? I worked my whole life to get here just to work for the man some more? Seriously? And it won't be that. It'll be this. I get to work for the Lord. I get to be a part of taking care of his kingdom. I get to be a part of what he has for us forever. You were designed to work, but not be mastered by it. And this is what makes the God of the Bible, the God of Israel, like Yahweh, what makes God so different than the other gods is in the ancient Near East, the gods, lowercase g's, gods, all the various gods of the different, cultures and nations, they often forced humans to work so that they didn't have to. This is like the pantheon of gods, like the Greek gods, the Roman gods and stuff, that all right, you guys are gonna do all the work so that we can just rest and just enjoy ourselves. But here's what we see when you open up Genesis, you see that it starts with God doing all the work. 6 days, right? God works for 6 days, he rested the seventh as a model for us, but also like he did it. He actually does the work. And then he creates Adam and he says, I want you to work and I want you to join me in this divine vocation of actually like doing something. We're not working so that God doesn't have to. We're working alongside a God who's working all the time, all day, every day, that we get to be a part of this. We see that work, like the actual like function and action, like activity of doing work we are designed by God to work, but it's not defined by the fall. This isn't like work is a result of the fall. Now, it is affected, certainly the fall affects it. So how are we to think about this now after the fall? What changes? Work is holy when it's when it's about serving God, but it changes when it becomes about proving ourselves. Here's what we see. A chapter later, right after the fall, God's going to talk specifically to Adam. He talked to Eve. Now he's going to talk to Adam specifically about work. And here's what we're going to see. Your work becomes a curse when it becomes your identity. When it's no longer what you do, but it becomes who you are, it can become a burden, a real weight. And some of you have felt this and you know this. Here's what we see in Genesis chapter 3. A chapter later now, Adam and Eve, they ate from the fruit. They disobeyed the one thing God told them don't do. It's not because they ate fruit, it's because they disobeyed God. Don't do this. You can eat anything, you can do anything you want, just don't do this one thing. And they're like, how about we do that one thing? and sin enters and rebellion and disobedience, and so this is the result. And here's what it says, Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. To Adam, he said, because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground. Since from it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you will return. After the fall, the same word, abad, the same Hebrew word is used for work, but now it's tainted. Now it's corrupted with pain and struggle. Now it's not work the ground. Now it's not work the garden and tend to it. Now it's going to be hard. And notice what's cursed here. Work isn't cursed. The ground is. Work is still work. It's still something that is like in us that God wants us to do, but now it's going to be harder. Now by the sweat of our brow, he says, and you're going to do this for the rest of your life. Like now work has become the thing which will control first Adam and eventually us. That work becomes the curse, not because its work is bad, but because the thing that we, like all of the effects of the fall now affect our work. The Hebrew phrase here, this painful toil, is the same used in the previous verse in verse 16, in which God says specifically to Eve that through painful toil, you will give labor, you will give birth. You will experience pain now because of this. It's the same word here. So both are experiencing pain in kind of the purpose for their life or the function. One of the things, so like women, ladies, like the thing that you can do that we can't do is actually give birth, like actually grow a human being inside of you and then give birth. That is like such a miracle and so crazy and like designed by God. And that thing that is like for you, because of the fall, you experience is painful. Now, modern medicine has helped quite a bit. And what happens then in the next verse for Adam, he's like, hey, you're not giving birth, but you are going to work the rest of your life. And it's going to be hard labor, and you're going to toil. And this is because of the fall. After the fall, work is not sinful, but the work that we do now is different. And Genesis 3 reminds us that when we work, we like the goal is that we should worship with our work. But if we don't, if we instead of working with like how we worship, instead of we now worship work, it becomes the death of us. If our life is only about what we do and finding meaning and purpose and value and our own self-worth in what we do, it becomes the death of us. We live in a society of overworked Adams, just working hard. And listen, you don't even know what you're working for. To what end? to make money. For what? To pay the mortgage. Yeah. And then what? To provide for the family. For what purpose? So that we don't starve. That's it. You work your entire life so you don't starve. Now, I don't know all of you, but I'm looking around. I think all of you are clothed. You have money for clothing. I bet when we leave here, all of you are going to eat something. You're going to eat food. None of you are sitting in a place where you're like, what are we going to do? I have no idea how we're going to eat our next meal. And maybe some of us are, but I'm looking, all right. So what are you doing with your work? What is it really for? What's the purpose of it? If it's just to get to retirement, if it's just to get to the point where you don't have to work anymore, then what are you, for decades of your life, you're just working just to stop working. Again, for what? For what purpose? I'm just tired. Well, aren't we all? If work is the end, it will kill you. There are a lot of statistics where people who worked, especially they work hard and work long and work till they're older, like work, not retire at 65, but maybe work till they're 70, 72, 75, and then retire. Something happens where their body actually shuts down and they don't live much longer. It's almost like when like a runner who's running a marathon. You can keep running, at least I've been told. You can run for a long time. The problem, like your body doesn't cramp as you're moving, it's once you stop. Once you stop, your body kind of seizes up and it's hard to get going again. So you just don't stop, just keep moving. As soon as you stop, your body just goes, oh, we're done. And you can collapse. And it's like the race is done. You can push and push and push, and then your body just gives out. And life can be like that. You work and work and work, and then you retire, and especially if you're working really hard and really long, and then it's just like, and your body just goes, that's it, we're done. We've used all our energy. And that's it. You work your whole life like Adam. And then he says, and then you return to the ground. We live in a society that's what people focus on. If your personal value rises and falls on your performance, then you are at risk of making your job your idol. It's how you define yourself. It's how you see yourself. So how do you, when your work becomes a curse, when it becomes your identity, so how do you recover the joy that you once had, that God intended you to have from the beginning? How do you have that, all right, how do I see my work as meaningful and important? And not just like work as employment, but like some of you are retired and you're going like, I don't have work anymore. Yeah, you do. You have stuff you do. Maybe things you volunteer or causes you support or boards you serve on. You have stuff that you do. Maybe you're just building stuff in your home and like you have something that you're like, this is what I do. This is what I focus on. This is what I like put my hands to. Awesome. That for you is work. How do you get to a place where regardless of your work or what you're doing, you find joy? Okay. This is actually easier than you think. Here's what we're going to see. Your work is a place to find joy. This is important. Not a place to find yourself. Your work cannot be where you find your identity. It cannot be the thing in which you say, this is who I am because this is what I do. Because something happens when you retire. You work your whole life. Maybe you climb the ladder. You get to the top. You're a manager. Maybe you have the business. And you get to a point where you retire and you're like, you're done. And here's what they do. Ready? You go to the break room. They get a Costco cake. They wear some silly hats. And they're like, congratulations, speech. 50 years of working. And then you eat your cake and you pack up your box. You go, your office is empty. You go home. Now what do I do? Now what do I do? My whole identity was my position. I don't have that anymore. Now what do I do? Who am I? If your work is your identity, you will experience that crisis of now what do I do? Your work is a place to find joy, not a place to find yourself. Here's what we'll look at. We'll look at Ecclesiastes, where Solomon talks about this. And Solomon, again, one of the wisest men to ever live, one of the wealthiest men to ever live. Here's what he says. He says, a person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and do this and find satisfaction in their own toil, in their own work. Eat and drink and be satisfied in your work. That is one of the greatest things he says you could do. This too, I see, is from the hand of God, is a gift. Literally, like he gives us the ability to have satisfaction in our work. This is God's hand extending it to us and is a gift from him. And then he says this, for without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? Solomon uses this word amal, which means labor or effort or like struggle. And he uses this throughout Ecclesiastes. But if you've ever read Ecclesiastes, let me just give you a word of advice here. Okay, first, if you're in a season of like struggle and anxiety, maybe depression, Ecclesiastes isn't the book for you. If you've ever read it, you know, right? Ecclesiastes is Solomon going, this too is meaningless. It's like, and I did this and I searched and I found, and it was meaningless and it was pointless and it's all in vain, all is vanity. And he gets to this point, but then there are times where you see these glimpses where he's like, no, but if you do this for the Lord, like this is different. He said, work is meaningless, but then there's a shift. There's a mind shift here that he has, and it's because this shift is not in like what he does, but the satisfaction comes because his perspective changed. The joy isn't the job itself, but rather it's seeing that it comes from the hand of God, that your ability to work and to do something is also a gift from God. And that perspective changes how you do the work. This is such an easy mind shift that I'm gonna tell you, and you're gonna be like, wow, that's so simple, that makes total sense. And yet it really does have the power to change everything for you about your work, about what you do, paid or unpaid. Whatever it is, career or retired or job to job or whatever it is you're doing. The satisfaction then is not about a possession, but about a perspective. You can do this. You can sweep the floors for the glory of God. You can lead a company for the glory of God. You can raise children at home, manage teams. You can build homes. You can teach students for the glory of God. How do you do this? Timothy Keller, he says this. Timothy Keller, who I don't know if I can go, 3 or 4 sermons without quoting him. He says this in his book on work, Every Good Endeavor. He says, you will not have a meaningful life without work. That work is a part. If you want to have a meaningful life, you got to get to work. But you cannot make work the meaning of your life. That if you want to have a meaningful life, you got to get to work. There's stuff you got to do. But don't make that the meaning of your life. Don't put it in a place it shouldn't be. Here's how you do this. Ready? How do you do this? How do you change your perspective? It's so easy, you guys. It's so easy. And I hope you remember this for the rest of your life. Here's what you do. All you have to do is just add for the Lord at the end of your job title. That's it. That's all you do. So what do you do? What do you do for a living? I sweep floors for the Lord. What? You're a custodian? I do it for the Lord. I make sure that this place is clean for the people that he's gonna bring in or whatever, wherever this is. I'm making sure, like I clean in such a way that if God were to come in and judge my work, he would be proud. I do this for the Lord. That mind shift changes everything. I'm an accountant for this company, but I do it for the Lord. I want to honor him with numbers. I want to honor him with my ability to manage the wealth and to be a good steward of the resources that he's put in my charge. I want to be faithful in few things so that he'll make me faithful in many things. I do this for the I get paid. I do this. I have a boss. I have managers. I have a company, but I do this. Don't get it twisted. I do this for the Lord. I work for the Lord. I own a business. Maybe you own a business. Maybe you're the boss. And you say this, I own this business, this company, this thing for the Lord. I do this for the Lord. That this is actually his business that he lets me run. And as long as I'm the manager of my Father's business, I will run it this way to the best of my ability because it's for him. That mindset changes everything for you. It changes everything. I am a stay-at-home mom raising kids. No, you're not. You're a stay-at-home mom raising kids for the Lord. That's a high that is a high calling. You're doing this for the Lord. You're not doing this so that they will go to bed, although that's a part of it. You do this for the Lord. You're a teacher at a school. You teach, third graders, high schoolers, whatever. You're a teacher for the Lord. That God, every year, this is so cool. If you're a teacher, every year, you got to think about this. Every year, God is putting shapeable minds in your presence, 25, 30, 35, 30, shapeable minds in your room that you get to be with 5 days a week for 9+ months. God is trusting you to invest in those kids, those students. You're not just teaching because your principal wants you to teach this thing, because you want teacher of the month. No. I'm a teacher for the Lord, and he's putting students in my classroom. I'm blessed to be able to teach these young minds and help shape their minds for the rest of their life. Do you see how that changes things? This is not about a paycheck anymore. I mean, we all need money to live. Of course, we need paychecks. But if you're working like this, it's not for the paycheck. All right, Lord, how do I serve you in my role? I'm a pastor here. And can I be honest? I don't do this for you. I mean, I serve you, and I want to, of course, I want to, right? I do this because I am a pastor for the Lord. I don't know if you know this. I hope you do. Let me preface by saying this. I don't want this to be too harsh. I like you guys. Most of you. I like most of you. No, I like all of you. But when I say I don't do this for you, I don't, listen, one day when I stand before the Lord, I have to give an account to him, not to you. None of you are going to judge me on what I do or what I say or how we lead or how we manage. I have to stand before God and say, all right, Lord, I give account to you. And by the way, you get to do the same thing. You're never going to stand before me for me to judge you. You stand before the Lord. So anything you do, I do this for the Lord. I do this for the Lord. All right, God. And I serve at the pleasure. And as long as he wants me to, as long as he allows me to, awesome. And when he says you're done, I'm done. And that's it. We serve for the Lord. You, whatever your job is, you do it for the Lord. It doesn't matter how high or how low it is. So my oldest son, who's in here, I won't pick on him too much. He's a great kid. And he works now, and he got a job, right? So again, in our house, you get a license, you get a job, get to work. All right. And he works at Chick-fil-A. And it's really easy to think, I work for a paycheck, I work for a boss, I work for a manager, and I'm trying to, do the best I can, I work for this. But listen, you work at Chick-fil-A, you work at fast food, you are making chicken for the Lord. Especially Chick-fil-A, right? Especially Chick-fil-A. It's not for the paycheck or the boss. It's like, no. I'm doing this, and you have me in this life, Lord, in this spot. I'm doing this to honor you in this role. And as my role changes, whatever my next job is, I do that for you. And my next job and career and promotion that might be coming, I do that for you. Whatever the job is, it's for the Lord. So how do you do this? How do you work without being mastered by it? Here's some mind shift changes that you can make. So instead of asking, am I successful? All right, you look at your life and go, how successful am I? You ask, am I faithful? Have I been faithful to what God has put in my life, to what he calls me to what he wants me to do? Instead of asking, do I like my work? Which many of us, we know how we're going to answer that. Instead, you ask, is God pleased with me and my work? Instead of saying, do I like my work? We say, does God like my work? Is God pleased with how I'm doing my job? Whatever that job is, whatever that work is, whatever that volunteering is, whatever for you put your hand to, does God like how I'm honoring him with what I do? Instead of saying this job is killing me, you say this job is shaping me. It's so easy to get to a point where you say, I hate this job, I hate everything about it, and I don't like this, and I don't like that, and listen, You wouldn't like my job either if you had to work with all these dummies and like, you probably have said that and like all these people, they just don't get it and they're terrible. And it's like, yes, all that might be true. And you know what? God is using that to shape your character. You should go, man, working with hard people is teaching me how to be patient with hard people that I couldn't learn any other way. That going through seasons of maybe you're managing people or teams, or maybe you have a business and you go through a hard season, or you have to make a hard decision. Maybe you have to lay people off and it's like, oh, this is the worst. I don't ever want to do this. And at the same time, you're like, man, like I can run from this, or I can say, God, what are you teaching me in this? How am I gracious? How do I help people even in the hardest times? How do I help them in this? Maybe there's some conflict at work. Maybe there's there's like a coup. Maybe there's like all kinds of stuff. Things just going, gosh, this is so hard. Maybe you really do have a bad manager who's like self-serving and is, and sabotaging. And you're like, how do I deal with all this? This is crazy. And you go, all right, Lord, what am I supposed to learn in this? Instead of saying this job is killing me, I hate this, you say, all right, God, how are you shaping me to become the person you want me to be? How are you molding my character through this job, and especially through the hard stuff? All right? It's a perspective change that changes when you say, I do this for the Lord, and I also submit to what he wants for me and through me. All right? You're not working for identity, you're working from it. This shift changes when you find your identity not in what you do, but in who you do it for. That changes. Your job is not what you do. Your value is not what you do. Your like worth is not in what you do, but rather who you do it for. And if it's just for your manager, if it's just for your supervisor, your direct report, if it's just for the boss of the company, if it's just for, the extra bonus at the end of the month or end of the year, if that's all you're working for, then that will be as great of an experience of a job you can have. But if instead you say, I do this for the Lord, I do this to please God, all of a sudden, your mindset is not, how do I just get to the weekend? How do I just clock in and clock out? You get out of this like, I hate Monday mornings. I love Friday afternoons. You get out of that and say, all right, God, this week, what do you want me to do for you? How do I view my work for you this week? What do you have for me this week? That changes everything. And you do that week after week, year after year, and you spend a career saying, I work for the Lord, it changes you. It changes things. Your identity is not in what you do, but in who you do it for. Would you do this? Would you stand with me? And then we're going to worship the Lord here together. And continue. We're continuing this series about work and how do we see and view our work? How do we do this then? We set this foundation that God has made us to work. He's designed us to work, but also it's not so easy. It's not always enjoyable. So we'll spend the next 4 weeks looking at various aspects of how we should view our work. Will you pray with me, and then we'll worship together? So Lord, thank you. Thank you for your word. Thank you that you made us, you created us to work, not to get out of work. That we find value and meaning in our work, but our purpose ultimately comes from you. That our ultimate value is not in what we do, but in who we do it for. Help us to understand, remind us that whatever our job title is, whatever we're doing, whatever season we're in right now, to add for the Lord, that we do this for you. Help us to be people that understand our work is an extension of our worship. We love you, Lord. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Hey, if you need prayer this morning, we would love to pray with you. And there's people under these blue lights that would love to cover you in prayer and meet with you. So, but let's sing unto the Lord right now.
Standing here in your presence, in a grace so relentless, I am one. up within the arms of heaven in a peace that lasts forever, sinking deep in mercy seat. I'm wide awake, drawing close, stirred by grace, and know my heart is yours. All fear removed, I breathe you in, I lean into your love. Oh, your love.
When I'm lost, you pursue me. Lift my head to see your glory, Lord of all. So beautiful. Here in you I find shelter, captivated by the splendor of your face. My secret place, I'm wide awake, drawing closer by grace. All my heart is yours. All fear removed, I breathe you in, I lean into your love. Oh, your love. Your love so deep is washing over me. Your face is all I see. You are my everything. Jesus Christ, you are my one desire. Lord, hear my only cry, to know you all my life. Your love so deep is washing over me. Your face is all I seek. You are my everything. Jesus Christ, you are my one desire. Lord, hear my only cry, to know you all my life. I'm wide awake, drawing closer by grace. All my heart is yours. All fear removed, I breathe you in, I lean into your love. Oh, your love.
What a great challenge, a great word for Pastor Brandon just to preach on today, just that you and I can find our purpose, we can find our passion in serving the Lord no matter what we're doing, whether it's at home, whether it's whether you're retired, work, whatever it is. I'm just encouraged by that, and I hope that whatever we do it as unto the Lord, and that brings that purpose, that brings that fullness that we've been looking for. So I just want to encourage you, if you need prayer, there's folks available under the blue lights. I want to invite you back next week as we continue on. Pastor Connor's going to be sharing next week about continue on the series of the theology of work. So have a great week, and we'll see you back here on Sunday.